This is the brand new OnePlus 15. It starts at $900. And this is the Pixel 10 Pro XL, Google's $1,200 flagship. On paper, they have the exact same screen size, but the big question, is the Pixel actually worth the extra money? Because honestly, the OnePlus 15 does a ton of things the Pixel just can't do. But the Pixel also nails a few things OnePlus still hasn't figured out. And if you're shopping for a new phone, context is everything. That's why smartphone comparisons can be so important. Also, for the 80% of you who watch my videos but still haven't subscribed, come on. If you want more reviews like this, hit that button. It generally helps out. Right away, the design language is totally different between these two phones. People keep calling the OnePlus 15 basic, but honestly, I love it. Like, the sandstorm finish is super clean, it's slightly beige, it's matte, it's subtle, it's stylish, also with a little bit of a stealth effect, and it doesn't scream for your attention. The Pixel is the complete opposite. You see that visor on the back? It stretches across the entire back like a gold headband, and it's unmistakably Pixel. Lay it on the table, it doesn't move. Lay the OnePlus on a table, and if you tap the top left-hand corner, it does rock a bit. Not a deal breaker, but still worth mentioning for some. Even the button placement is completely different. Pixel puts the volume rocker lower on the right side, OnePlus puts it higher. You get used to either setup within a couple of hours. But the biggest layout difference is the extra button on the OnePlus 15, the classic alert slider. Well, maybe not anymore, it's gone. But we do have a new key called the Plus key, which you press it and it launches Mindspace, a private sandbox where screenshots get auto-analyzed, notes are organized, and long pressing even lets you record voice memos that get transcribed instantly. It's actually not bad, but I'd probably forget to use it 90% of the time. Build quality-wise, the Pixel does feel a bit more premium. It's heavier, the metal frame is polished, and the gold wraparound on this model just feels classy. Both have Gorilla Glass, both have 6.8-inch displays, but the OnePlus fingerprint scanner is ridiculously fast. Like, there's no hesitation, instant unlock. Like, don't get me wrong, the Pixel's is fine, but you notice the difference only when you use both phones side by side. I should also say that both phones are IP68 water resistant, but the OnePlus takes it one step further by being IP69. Now, when it comes to software, the OnePlus 15 basically has its own version of Dynamic Island. It's definitely inspired by the iPhone, but honestly, it's fine. And Oxygen OS, now that it's based on Oppo's redesigned Color OS, is actually really good this year. Like, you can customize icons, blur backgrounds, change the way the background looks, change layouts, all natively on the device. It still feels a bit iPhone-ish in some ways, but the enthusiast crowd will appreciate the flexibility. Pixel 10 Pro XL uses Pixel OS, and I love it too. It's what Google envisions what Android should look like, and the animations to the icons have more life than most other themes that are currently out there. They both look great, and honestly, it's personal preference. But here's a major difference. 165 Hz on the OnePlus 15. One of the first phones to do it. It's ridiculously smooth, super fast, and even though day-to-day, going from 120 versus 165 doesn't feel like a huge jump, in games, it's a completely different story. Call of Duty Mobile can hit 165 FPS if you drop the graphics a bit, and it honestly feels like playing on a high refresh gaming monitor. But there is a downside. There aren't many games that support 165 FPS to match the 165 Hz, at least yet. Also, OnePlus does win when it comes to PWM flicker. It has a higher frequency modulation, so if you get headaches from AMOLED screens, this is the better option for you. But where the Pixel wins, and wins big, is brightness. This thing has 3,300 nits of peak brightness. The OnePlus 15 around 1,800 nits, which is honestly low for a flagship device in 2025. Outdoors HDR general visibility, the Pixel completely destroys the OnePlus 15. And Pixel's built-in Snap accessory system is extremely underrated. It's basically MagSafe for Android. Wallets, mounts, they snap right on without a case. Now, for most, probably not a big deal since you can buy a case that supports magnets, but it's always nice to have it baked into the actual phone. Now we gotta switch it back to OnePlus for a second, and this is where they go thermal nuclear. The Pixel's Tensor G5 is honestly fine for daily stuff, but the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 inside the OnePlus 15 is on another planet. Like, it's just stupid fast. OnePlus also uses a big vapor chamber and generally effective high performance mode. Editing videos, OnePlus wins. Gaming, OnePlus wins. Sustained performance, OnePlus wins. Then you add the 7,300 milliamp hour battery and it just becomes absolutely absurd. Easily 2-day battery life, rivaling only by the Oppo Find X9 Pro, which I tested out recently, but they're basically using the same battery tech. And even when it comes to charging, it's OnePlus again, up to 120 watts depending on the region. In North America, probably 80 watts to 100 watts, depending if you buy the proper charger for it. 50 watts wireless with their special charger, which are things the Pixel can't touch. Like, don't get me wrong, the Pixel charges fast enough, but it's not even in the same category. But I do have a concern. The long-term health of silicon carbon batteries, like, they're amazing now, but we don't know how it'll be later. Like, it will degrade faster over a few years compared to the battery tech inside the Pixel. So down the road, if you keep your phone long enough, the Pixel might end up lasting longer. We just don't have the data yet. But we gotta switch it back to the Pixel again, because every single year, OnePlus absolutely crushes performance, but then the cameras, they just can't keep up. And I think we finally know why. They're keeping costs down in the flagship category. Like, they'd rather give you insane speed and battery life at a competitive price point, it's just easier to do, than put expensive flagship camera sensors inside. I think that's the smart move because most people buying the OnePlus are more enthusiasts. Like, they even ditched the Hasselblad partnership, which is basically only with Oppo's phones right now. All 3 rear cameras are 50 megapixels, but the sensors are basically mid-range tier, the kind you'd see inside a mid-range smartphone. Meanwhile, Pixel's 50 megapixel main and 48 megapixel ultra-wide also comes with another 48 megapixel 5x telephoto, which takes better pictures. Like, again, most phones these days, regardless of whether they're mid-range or flagship, take great photos during the day. OnePlus leans into a more contrasty look. They really crush those shadows for that punch effect. But as soon, and I mean as soon as you start zooming in, the Pixel wins, even at 100 times. And both of these phones are using AI at that point, but Pixel tends to keep more detail, it keeps the textures, and it looks a lot more natural. OnePlus goes to 120 times, which is great if you want to zoom further, but once you cross that 40 times mark, the AI smoothing is so aggressive that everything just looks fake. Like, you look at the buildings, it's so smoothed out that you just lose so many details. In some situations, the colors are even changing. But in night mode, the Pixel obliterates OnePlus. Sharper details, cleaner lines, more accurate lighting, there's really no contest. But when you circle back to the front cameras, they're both pretty good, like a lot closer than the rears, but again, the Pixel wins. OnePlus leans to red, magenta, and it's kind of noticeable in my skin. Okay, right now you're looking at the front-facing cameras of the OnePlus 15 and the Pixel 10 Pro XL. All right, really crappy day here in Canada. It is kind of cold, like 2 degrees Celsius. Cloudy, which is not great, but you know, lots of diffusion. So my skin or color should look perfect since we basically have a big diffuser blocking the sun. But yeah, you guys let me know how the colors look, and more importantly, how does the audio sound compared between these two devices? You guys let me know. Now, when it comes to video, it's sort of the same story. I find that OnePlus is still allowing a little bit too much red in the details, and that's kind of discerning. Like, yeah, you could technically correct this later, but it shouldn't be in the video. A lot of people are just taking videos right off their phone and sending it, and obviously you want it to look as best as possible. But the good news is OnePlus does have a log mode, which is awesome if you want to color grade everything yourself, which is weird because Pixel still doesn't have log in 2025, which completely blows my mind. Now, speakers are actually fantastic on both of these devices. In fact, I'm gonna do a little sound test and you guys let me know which one sounds better. Also, one of you asked me if you can do Wi-Fi calling on the OnePlus 15, and you absolutely can. I tested it and it works. Also, the haptics are great on both phones, but it's slightly better on the Pixel 10 Pro XL. But we gotta talk about AI. Like, both phones have Gemini, like most Android phones do, but the Pixel will always be one step ahead since Google controls the whole pipeline. Pixel also gets 7 years of OS updates, 7 years of security patches. OnePlus promises around 4 years of OS plus 6 years security. Honestly, most people don't keep their phones that long anyway, but if you are planning to keep it for that long, Pixel does win here, but I imagine the hardware inside the OnePlus 15 will last a bit longer. Honestly, I love the OnePlus 15. Like, if camera isn't your top priority, this is the phone I'd recommend 9 times out of 10. Like, you're paying $300 less and still getting one of the fastest phones on the planet with a decent camera system. It's not great, but I don't think it's terrible either. You get the best in class battery life. You have crazy fast charging, wired and wireless, excellent software, and a 165 Hz display, which might be important to you if you game on your mobile phone. Like, don't get me wrong, the Pixel 10 Pro XL is undeniably the better camera phone, and it has better brightness, better accessories, better long-term support, and even slightly better video, but it's $300 better for most people. I honestly don't think so, and again, it's really gonna come down to your personal preference. For me, the OnePlus 15 is obviously the better deal, hands down. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you have any questions about either of these devices, let me know as well, and I'll do my best to answer as many questions as I can. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.